You're welcome again. It's still Wake Up Nigeria. See, no matter how brilliant your business idea is, you need capital. And that is why Alex Iheanacho is back with us in the studio to talk about raising capital to start off whatever business idea you might have. Thank you for joining us today, Alex.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Okay, so this is a very interesting subject, especially for those who are planning to branch out on their own to do some personal business and stuff. I'll just hit the nail on the head. How do I raise capital for my business?
Okay, so there are many ways. Okay, there are many ways. One of which is starting from yourself, right? You being interested in funding your dream, and you being interested in sacrificing on your own part to fund your dream. So if you earn 100,000, for example, you are saving 10,000 naira every month compulsorily to fund your dream. So at the end of 12 months, you would have had 120,000 that will help you fund your dream. That's one way, right? We also have friends and families. It's quite unfortunate that sometimes we don't believe that our friends and our families are really interested in helping us. And that comes from the fact that most times we don't really know how to articulate what we want to do. You know, we might think we know until someone asks you to really explain what it is that you want to do, especially friends and families, people that have always known you, right? So if you cannot explain it to a 6-year-old, it probably doesn't make sense.
Is that where a business plan comes into play?
That's where a business plan comes into play, because by writing a business, not really that you run your business per se with a business plan, but in writing a business plan, it helps you to clarify your ideas, clarify your concept, and weave out things that don't really make sense.
As well.
Yes, create an income goal, know exactly what you want to do. So it becomes easy. Now, as you're creating your business plan, you also learn to create your pitch. Because when you're asked to pitch, you're not going to pitch your business plan. You're going to pitch a subset of your business plan, right? So you need to create a business plan so that you can take all that idea from your head and put it on a paper where you can see it. Then you now condense what you have on that paper, right, into something that I can talk to my friend or family member about.
Okay. Now, Alex, you know, when you say you want to raise capital for a business, sometimes we do too much. You end up starting a business with much more than you actually need. Yes, it's possible to actually do that. I know some people will be like, how is it possible to start with more than you need? And there are times you need a whole lot of cash, and then you end up starting that business with just a little, and because you don't have enough capital, it flops. So how can you tell how much you should infuse into your business?
Well, the first part begins by you knowing exactly whom you want to serve. What is your place in the value chain that you want to serve, right? So if I want to go into oil and gas, what is my position in this industry? On the average, how much do I need to occupy this niche on a small scale? Because no matter how fantastic your idea might be, one of the things you must do is to test your idea on a small scale. That's what will tell you whether you need more money or whether you're even too much already on cash, right? So you need to test, you need to go lean first. Everything you want to do has a small version, right? Get that small version and test it with people. Those people you know will form your ideal clients. Then that will tell you, oh, I think I need more money to scale this, or I think what I have is enough, or I think I even need to go down on cash.
Okay. Now when I'm trying to get capital, it's always possible that I'll have doors shut in my face.
Definitely.
What alternative should I be looking out for, like taking a loan? Is it a good idea for someone starting a business?
Well, if you're starting a business, I don't really advise you taking a loan on the onset. And then secondly is that there will be a whole lot of demotivation. A lot of people, a lot of institutions, banks, for example, will not be interested in giving you a loan, really. Because banks are not designed to give you loan when you need the money. They are designed to give you loan when you don't need the money, right? So what happens is that if you're starting a business, banks hardly come to you and say, oh, I can see you're starting a business. You just opened a business account with us. You need some cash. No. Before banks will come to you, they must have looked at your cash flow over time.
And you must have established.
Do you understand? You must have established so they see that you bring in 1 million every week. Right? Oh, this guy, I think they need some money. So banks come to you when you don't need money. For example, if you look at Linda Ikeji was talking about her story some time ago. You know, she went to all the banks, right? They were not interested. But now all the banks are interested in funding her. Why? Because she doesn't need the money anymore. So you need to really know that it is extremely risky on you as a starter to go on a loan, because the loan will have interest, which you must pay. So you will be sitting on pressure, unnecessary pressure. And institutions are not usually very kind, because the money is not theirs, people's money. So they have to ensure that they protect themselves and protect people's money, right? So it is not usually very advisable, especially when you're starting out, to go to institutions to take a loan, right? You could go through other routes, like maybe crowdfunding. What that means is, if you have quality friends and you need $1 million to start, right? You can take 100K from 10 people, from 10 of your friends, or 10 people you know, 10 of your church members. Would that not
give them a share in your business?
Well, it doesn't have to give them a share. It depends on the agreement you have. You could give them a percentage return. So I could tell you, give me, I think you have some free cash flow. In fact, if you're around people a lot of time, you hear people tell you, oh, I have this money, I don't know what to do with it. So if you've been looking for money, you look out for such people. Say, okay, you don't know what to do with it. Can you give me 100K or 200K? At the end of 6 months, I'll give you 10% of the money.
The money back.
Yeah, so if you give me 200K and at the end of 6 months, if I know what I'm doing, I should be able to make at least 50K.
Now, let's zoom into this crowdfunding you talked about. So I collect 100,000 naira from 10 people, and I tell them, okay, I'll give it back to you in 6 months. What if out of those 10 people, 6 of them want their money in 3 months' time?
You have an agreement. Of course, you have an agreement.
You have to get something
official, understand, to protect
get a lawyer.
Yes, that's what it is. You don't just say, oh, give me money, then we'll go. No, there has to be that you don't ask for the money till 6 months. Why? Because I'm doing a business. So when you give me the money, I push it into the business. If you suddenly come that you need the money, where am I going to get it from? So you have to give me time, right? And that's why we have an agreement, because if you don't have an agreement, someone could just walk up to you and say, I need my money back. And you're under pressure to pay the person. And before you know it, and the worst thing that could happen to you as a business person is to be under pressure, especially financial pressure. So if you're under pressure to raise money to pay back someone who is on your neck, you would not even have the time to be creative enough to think out solutions that you can sell.
Now, are there alternative ways to do business without actually having capital?
Yes, there's what is called term credit, right? You could meet someone who sells something and say, you know what, I have a buyer. Can I sell for you? For example, when I was working with the bank, I had a small business. I was selling books, business books, marketing books, relationship books. I wasn't spending my money to buy the books.
Really? How did you do
So there was a vendor guy I used to buy books from then, way back. So I went to him and said, and when I discovered that there were people in my organization who were interested in my reading habit, so they wanted to start reading too. So I said, okay, don't worry, I'll bring you some books next week. So I went to the guy and said, you know what, I need some books, all right? By weekend, I'll give you the money. So I'll go there, select the books that I want, go to the office, sell to my people, collect money, and give the guy and return the books that I couldn't sell.
And never at any point in time did you decide to go and get the books in
bulk
yourself?
No, I don't have to. I don't have to. All I need to do...
So there are some businesses that don't even require capital.
Yes, it's just a function of you paying attention, right? Paying attention and being mindful.
Wow, wow. I'm sure we've learned a thing or two from the conversation today, how to raise capital for your business, and also alternatives to raising capital and still running a good business. Well, I have to thank you very much, Alex Iheanacho. Thank you so much for being here. Interesting conversation.
Thank you.